Hi everyone, welcome to Greeklish Outdoors. Today we are looking at the long shelf life 24-hour ration pack from Lyophilise. So, stick around. So this is a military style civilian ration pack from lyophilise.com. I've had several rations from this company in the past, including ones which are produced by Jumipsa, and they've always been very good. So today we're checking out this long life ration. It's quite heavy, it's packed full of goodies, so let's take a closer look. So there's the ration. As you see, food ration pack, 24 hours, long shelf life. This one is menu E, and it has a best before date of June 2027. However, I bought this probably about a year ago. It says on the side, this box contains breakfast, lunch, dinner, food complements, paper tissues, cutlery, heating kit and water purification tablets. This is packed in Spain for Lyophilise, which is a French company. Anyway, if I cut through this plastic, there is a cardboard box underneath, and if we open that up, I can see inside lyophilise.com 24-hour ration, menu E, which is Western, and there it is packed full of goodies. Let's get all the items out and give you a better look. First thing is a pack of tissues. We get a food and drinks heating kit, which contains a folding stove, fuel tablets, matches, and water purification tablets. We have some leek and potato soup. There are 3 isotonic vitamin and mineral drink powders, all lemon flavour, a 25-gram bar of dark chocolate, a pack of sardine pate, one of the main meals, which is a can of chili con carne. The second main meal is a can of chicken curry. We get 2 packs of sweet biscuits, 2 packs of salty biscuits, a chocolate cake, 2 packs of jam, 2 black teas, 4 9-gram sticks of sugar, and a wooden spork. That is everything in this 24-hour long shelf ration pack from lyophilise.com. So quite a few items here. The main meals look quite large in the cans. Things like that are why this ration weighs 1.85 kilograms. But it does contain 3,250 calories. I understand the ration gives you a full pack of tissues, but in a ration where there's jam, there's canned fish, things which are a little bit sticky and smelly, I would have liked some wet wipes or antibacterial wipes in here. Yeah, I know you could wet a tissue, but it's not the same thing. Something like that would be really helpful in this ration. And of course, some of you are probably thinking, where the hell's the coffee? For me, I'm quite happy. I'm a tea drinker. But for many of you, that might be a downside. Right, I'm going to split these into 3 meals, breakfast, lunch and dinner, and I will bring you back for breakfast. Right, so there's breakfast. We're going to have a pack of the sweet biscuits with the jam, a pack of the salty biscuits with the sardine pate. We're going to try that isotonic beverage and a black tea. Right, first up, let's make up the isotonic beverage. They come as a stack of 4 sweet biscuits. They're nicely protected in this little packaging. 4 individual sweet biscuits. And they're the salty biscuits. You can see there is a slight difference in colour, with the darker ones being the sweet biscuits. Let's make up this black tea. Right, let's check out this jam. This should be apple flavour jam. Oh, it's got a lovely colour there. Let's spread a little bit of this onto a sweet biscuit. Let's open up this pate. Nice packaging. And there's the salmon pate. It did come out of the tin a little bit as I opened it, but I'm just hoping that's because it is so full. Smells nice. It was like a sardine and tomato pate. Right, let's give these things a try. First, let's give this sardine pate a go. Smells pretty good. Tastes pretty good. Very fishy. Nice smooth pate though. Very, very good. It contains sardines, 43%, mackerel, 24%, vegetable oil, onion, bell pepper, garlic spices, water, tomato concentrate, soy protein, mustard, sugar, curcumin. But it's a nice flavourful pate, some great protein here, some great fats in there. I like the fact they've put a few herbs and spices in there, and that tomato of course, but the main flavours you get is that fish. And it's very, very tasty. Doesn't taste like a long life pate, to be honest. So I was mistaken a second ago between the differences of the sweet and salty biscuits. There are actually one more biscuit in the salty pack than there are in the sweet pack, and that's because the salted ones are ever so slightly thinner than the sweet biscuits. Let's try a little bit of the salty biscuit on its own. Nice crunch. Yeah, instant, slightly salty kind of taste to it. They're not hard to eat, but they are quite dry, so definitely need some of that pate on these. Before we try the jam, let's try this tea. Cheers. A lovely, cold, aromatic black tea. Is it the best tea I've ever tried? No, but it is very, very drinkable. Oh, very tasty. Right, let's try the apple jam on the sweet biscuit. The biscuit's got a great crunch. It is sweet, but I'm kind of struggling to taste the flavour of the jam. It's just like a sweet jam. There's no kind of bursting apple flavour. But it's tasty. It goes together very well. Let's try a little bit of the jam on its own to see if we can taste that apple flavour. Yeah, it's better then. Much stronger. Kind of tastes a bit like stewed apples. Very pleasant, nice and sweet, nice and smooth. You get quite a bit in this little packet, and of course you get 2 packets, one of which I am going to save for later on with the other sweet biscuits. But a fairly nice and filling breakfast, having 4 sweet biscuits, 4 salty biscuits, pate, jam, a cup of tea, and of course this iced tonic beverage. Cheers. Wow. It helps it being in cold water, but it's got a lovely mild lemon flavour. It's slightly sweet. It's got a hint of saltiness to it, but not in a bad way. Not like in the Spanish MREs, which I don't like their iced tonic beverages. They've got an overwhelming salty flavour to it. I know it's to try and rehydrate you, but I just wish it had a little bit more sweetness. This is perfectly balanced. Nice and refreshing, nice mild lemon flavour, the perfect amount of water, 500 mils to mix it in as well. Yeah, that's really good. And with that, the breakfast part is done. I'm actually quite full, although it's not too heavy where I can't get on with my day. Yeah, breakfast, pass. Right, I'll bring you back later on for lunch. Right, so there is lunch. We're going to have the chili con carne, the chocolate cake, the salty biscuits, another iced tonic beverage. Of course, we're going to have to use the stove provided. I'm also going to look at these tissues. Right, first things first, let's heat up that chili con carne. So that is the stove provided. We just bend this into shape and put the fuel tabs on it. However, at camp, I have the exact same stove which I kept from a different ration pack, so we're going to use that one today. It's pre-folded, it's already used up. There's no point in making that one a mess when it's exactly the same thing. Right, the fuel tabs. Basically, S-bit tabs. It also comes with these matches, which I presume are windproof matches. They look like it. They're very short and stubby though, compared to many other windproof matches I've used. The striker is separate. Let's see if it works. Now, it struck so quickly on the striker that it actually burnt my finger. That was so dangerous, especially as you have to hold the striker. I barely touched it on the striker and those sparks and that flame shot up on my finger. Ow. I'm gonna have a blister on my finger now. Let's try that again. This time I'm gonna leave it on here. I wasn't even intending to strike it straight away. I just wanted to show it to you. All right, let's open this up. Just going to open it a little bit. On there, like that. Right, the salty biscuits. Just going to put a couple on the tray for now. Some more fresh water for the isotonic beverage. Wow, that is a lot of beans. You can see chunks of meat. Looks like a pepper in there too. And of course we've got that with the crackers. Right, let's give that a try. Very nice. Not very spicy. It's seasoned fairly well. Definitely salty enough. The beans are cooked very well. Let's get some pieces of the meat. The meat is very, very tender and very, very tasty. I do like canned foods sometimes in a ration pack. They often taste, for some reason, more natural than the pouches. Let's try with a bit of that cracker. It soaks up some of the moisture. The flavour of the chilli goes really well with it. Yeah, that's a nice tasty lunch. I'm happy with that. One thing's for sure, I'm going to be farting like a trooper later on. I would have liked it to be a little bit spicier if it was me, and of course it would have been nice to have some cheese with this, but as it stands, it is a nice lunchtime meal to have, especially with those crackers. Right, let's open this chocolate cake. It looks very much like the orange cake I had recently, and it's made by the same people, Jamipsa. Obviously, they're big suppliers of rations these days. But that looks like a nice chocolate cake. Let me break it. It feels very moist in my hand. Can't wait to give it a try. It's sticky in a way where you definitely need some moisture. Excuse me a second. Let's have a bit of that lemon drink. That is really good. But it's sweet, got a nice cocoa flavour to it. Yeah, tastes like an American MRE pound cake, which I think they're probably all based on. Yeah, it's sticky, it's crumbly, it's a nice treat to have at the end of the meal. Packed full of calories, of course, and a great morale boost like I think cakes are in a ration pack. Yeah, I'm happy with that at the end of my meal. Very, very good. Let's check out these tissues. So you get 10 in a pack. not very strong, but they are very, very soft. Just a standard supermarket pack of tissues really, nothing really special about this, apart from the fact it's got a nice butterfly on the packaging. Yeah, very, very good. So that is lunch done. I am really, really full, but now I'm going to get on with my tasks in the little woodland, and I'll bring you back later on for dinner. We're having the chicken curry with the sweet biscuits, the leek and potato soup. We've got another isotonic beverage, a black tea, and the chocolate bar. Right, let's heat up this chicken curry. One thing I forgot on the tray before was, of course, we do have another one of these apple jams, and we also have the packets of sugar, neither of which I'm going to use this evening, as my body does not need the extra sugar today. But just so you know, we do have those extra items. I'll put a bit of water in there because I'm going to have my black tea cold again. Yes, yes, I know many of you like it hot. But even today, on this sort of the end of September afternoon, evening time, it is still 28 degrees. So cold tea it is for me. All right, let's take this chocolate bar out as well. Got a little bit of bloomage, but I'm sure it'll be fine. As soon as the chicken curry's finished, I'm going to put some water on to boil for the potato and leek soup. Whilst we're waiting for the main meal to heat up, time for a cup of tea and a biscuit. Very satisfying, even with cold tea. I'm not a dunker anytime, but especially not with cold tea. So there is our chicken curry. Lots of pieces of chicken in there, some diced carrots, onions, spices. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Right, let's give it a try. Some of the chicken's got a little bit burnt on the bottom of the tin, but it's still okay. I'm not sure if it's because it's slightly burnt, but it's got a kind of a taste of dirt. Hopefully the fuel tablets haven't contaminated it in any way. But yeah, it has a weird kind of twang to it. It's not very strong of curry. But yeah, you know what dirt smells like when it's wet? Like soil when it's wet? Well, this tastes how that smells, if that makes any sense. I'm not sure I like it. It's salty. It's got such a mild curry flavour, you can barely even detect it. The rice is mushy, but yeah, I think it might be from the outside of the tin, from when the fuel had burnt up the side, but I don't like it. That's possibly my fault. I should have probably emptied the tin out into a container and heated up in that, but yeah, a bit dirty, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not sure I like that. Anyway, let's leave that for now and make up the soup. Right, unfortunately my camera did not turn on when I was adding the water to the soup, but this is the soup mix. So apologies for not showing you the water going into the soup. I'm not sure if it really matters, but I have an issue with my camera. I had it a lot over the years. I use the DJI Osmo Pocket 2, and many times I've thought I've pressed record and I go back and it's not recording. So either I've not pressed the button hard enough. Sometimes I know it does stop shooting if the memory card is running too slow or it gets a little bit too hot. Anyway, I've had this camera for many years now and I think it's time for an upgrade. Anyway, let's try this soup. Yeah, I've had this soup many times in several Jump Ipsa rations and I never like it. It's grainy, it's very oniony, and it's just not very satisfying. But it's salty, it's warm. I suppose if you're on a cold night with a salted cracker, it might be okay, but really the soup's not for me. Definitely need a drink to wash the taste of the soup and, to be honest, that curry out of my mouth. At least that's dependable. Right, the last thing for us to try is that chocolate bar. Nice crunch. It's tasty. Slightly powdery, but very rich, dark chocolate. The bloomage is only on the surface, it didn't go the way through. It's tasty. To be honest, that's a nice end to a bit of a crap dinner, if I'm being honest. If I had that dinner and I was properly out in the wilderness with nothing else to eat, I'd be a bit disappointed. Yes, I could survive, but I don't know, something's not quite right about that chicken curry. Maybe it was the contamination from the hexamine fuel tablets, which is not good either, but yeah, to be honest, I'm not going to eat that. But the chocolate is good. And with that, dinner is done. Right, so that was the Lyophiles.com 24-hour long shelf life ration pack. Overall, I thought it was okay. The breakfast was nice and simple with the salted and the sweet biscuits, with the pate and the jams. The chili con carne was very tasty, although I could have done with a little bit of spice to pep it up a little bit. And the cake was very satisfying. I do like the fact they give you a folding stove with the fuel and the matches, although careful with those. That's a nice addition, kind of reminded me a little bit of the French and the UN ration I've tried in the past. But for me, the potato soup was a bit of a letdown, and so was the chicken curry. Now, whether that was because it was slightly burnt or whether it got contaminated a little bit with the fuel tablets is questionable, but it didn't have a very strong flavour of curry either. It just had a kind of a soil flavour, which is a bit odd. As I said earlier on, it could do with having some antibacterial wipes or some wet wipes in there to help clean yourself up. And another thing is missing is chewing gum or a mint or a sweet, something like that. Something to have after all this food. But it's basic, and that is reflected in the price, as this thing you can buy online for 18 euros, which I don't think is bad. However, where was this ration placed on our MRE leaderboard? I'm going to give it a 6.9. So it's sandwiched between the US and the Trek and Eat ration, which I think is a good place. As I said, overall it's a nice ration, and I've had one of these before and it was slightly better than this one, to be honest. The only things are missing a bit of chewing gum, missing some wet wipes, and it's a little bit heavy. But apart from that, a bargain at 18 euros. Let me know what you thought of this. Is it something you would try? How do you think I rated it? Do you think I rated it fairly? Let me know in the comment section below. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so today. It really helped the channel out. But for now, thanks for watching. Take care. Much love. See you next time.